Hi guys, I'm Mama Bear to Many. I am mom to 14 children. 12 of those children are still at home. And today we're just going to take a couple minutes and throw a couple quick roast meals together. And yeah, so it'll be fun. So whether you buy your pork at the grocery store or like I'm doing here, what I'm doing is actually I'm cleaning out my freezer. And so I have 3 big roasts that I want to cut them down into smaller meals because it's not winter, it's summer here, and I don't want to be having these massive roasts in my oven warming my house throughout the day. So I'm going to take the roast and I'm going to cut them down into smaller portions, and then I'll be able to put those into the Instapot. And the portions that I am using are smaller than if we were just going to eat a hunk of meat. I'm going to take these portions and I will put these in bags, and then I'll put them in the Instapot, and then we will eat that like over some rice with lots of veggies and that type of stuff. So here we go. What we're going to do is we are going to do cranberry roast, Italian roast, and maple mustard roast. So I have 3 larger roasts that I'm going to cut down in half, and I'll do 2 of each of these. So just going to take my roast. It's probably only about 2 to 3 pounds of meat, but I can get away with doing something this size in the Instapot because I'm almost going to use it like a stir fry meat that you're like throwing in with your veggies and having it on top of rice, and I'll probably throw in a bunch of cabbage and just like stretching that meal right out. So this one is the cranberry roast. So all I'm going to do, you can have your homemade onion soup mix like this, or you can buy your onion soup mix like this. I'm going to use this one up first. So I'm probably going to use about 2 tablespoons or 1 packet, 2 to 3 tablespoons or 1 packet of onion soup mix in the bags. And then I'm going to take, I have a quart of cranberry sauce, and this cranberry sauce actually came out a little bit loose when I canned this. So I have 1 quart, which I think is equivalent to about 4 jars. Now to use cranberry sauce, I usually just shove my knife in there and then cut it, almost like make a cross in the middle so that it will come out easier. And then I'm going to dump that in the top. And that is as easy as it gets. So I will put that in the freezer, and then when we are ready to eat this, I will dump that into the Instapot with a cup of water on that little trivet type thing that comes with your Instapot. And I will cook that for 50 minutes on pressure cook it 50 minutes. And yeah, it'll come out really good. I'll like almost shred it. And yeah. This one came off really easy. I think I'm going to go grab another jar because it looks off. Okay, I'm going to do that after. I'll just leave that one for after, and I'll run downstairs. I don't have anyone else in the house right now, and I need to run downstairs into the basement to go and grab that. So I'm going to wait and do that last. So the Italian pork, I'm going to take another one of my big roasts like this, and I'm just going to cut that in half. Now, if I were eating just like a roast, like we do in wintertime, I would take the whole roast that size and I'd put it like in the roaster, or I would put it in the oven to warm up the house for the day. But once it starts getting warmer, I like to break them down. Plus I need a little bit more space in my freezers. So I'm going to break these down into meals. So I'm just going to take this, I will cut this in half. Grab my Italian pork bags. are going to add about 4 tablespoons of Italian seasoning in each bag. This is really how I cook better. I don't tend to measure lots of things out unless I'm baking. And then I'm going to add a quart of home canned sauce. Now on my sauce, I don't add any seasonings. If you added seasonings already, then you probably would want to do less Italian seasoning, so it wouldn't be over seasoned. But I like to just do tomato puree so that I can mix and match what I want it to become later. So those are tomato puree. And then I'm going to add these diced tomatoes with green chilies. I'm just going to add 1 in each bag. This is good. It can be served with pasta or rice or quinoa. Lots of veggies on the side, or you can have a huge salad. So that is it for that. Super easy. So a good thing to do, like this is something that if you were at the store and you found a good sale, or say you just got your meat from the butcher and you have a bunch of roasts, instead of just putting them in the freezer, take some of those out and make them already into meals, so it's just easier for you. And for me, it's nice because then I can ask one of the kids, hey, can you just go grab a bag of something, or could you put that in the Instapot, and I don't have to explain like, okay, we're gonna mix this many ingredients and this many ingredients. It's already like measured out and they can just dump it. It is so chilly here in Maine right now. It's June, I'm trying to look at the calendar, I don't know, 17th, 18th, something like that. And it is chilly. I think it's like a high of 60 today. I'm wearing 2 sweatshirts. My kids are not wearing 2 sweatshirts. Some of them are outside in t-shirts, but I am chilly. Okay, so my last one and one of our favorites is maple mustard. So I'm going to take my last roast and undo this one. What has it been like in your neck of the woods? Is it unseasonably warm, cold? I know a lot of people got more frost than normal last year. So the way we feed our pigs is they have, while they're moms or whatever like that, they would have just a diet off of scrap, which would mainly be vegetables and grains. We soak some grains, and then we also get some grains from, and we get some vegetables and that type of stuff from the food pantry, food that is gone bad or whatever. And so we feed them off of that. But we don't vaccinate. We have them out on pasture. I used to buy organic grain, but if we're going to butcher them, and then a lot of the times I'll do the organic grain just for the last little bit. But a lot of times we'll butcher in the fall, and that's the time that we'll collect lots of apples for the pigs as well. This is partially frozen still. And yes, if something's frozen, you can refreeze your meat without an issue at all. Trying not to shake you guys too much. Every time I go to cut it, the whole camera is just shaking. Okay, we are there. So, gotta throw these in. It's just doing the best you can with, you know, what you have and what God provides for you. We used to get a lot of food from the food pantry because they had a lot of excess. They get the excess from Walmart and such, but lately they haven't had a lot, which is good because then I think more people are utilizing the food banks than they used to not be, I guess. I think that has to do, we live in a really low income area, and a lot of people get like food supplement or whatever. So they get that, and that just went down, I guess, because they're not getting COVID relief. So that might have to do a little bit with why that's getting utilized more. But I'm glad that it is there for those people that need it. And I'm thankful too, it saves them, because then they don't have to throw away the rotten food, and we get the blessing of being able to feed our pigs it. And most of the time it's things like rotten lettuce, or trying to think, you know, rotten tomatoes, things that would come from like Walmart's produce department that are mushy and yucky. Overall, that's usually what we are getting. Sometimes bread that might be gone bad or whatever. So I definitely feel blessed for all that we get from there. It does mean we go to town 3 times a week at specific times, and sometimes we have to wait around for that, but I just try to work things in around that schedule. So I am doing half a container, which would be about 6 ounces per bag of the mustard, and then I'm going to do about half a cup of the maple syrup. And then I'm going to do it would be 1 packet each of the onion soup mix, but I'm going to just dump some of this in. There we go. And that is it. That is the maple mustard pork. So today we had 3 roasts, and we took a couple minutes and did 2 maple mustard porks, 2 Italian porks, and 2 cranberry porks. And those will just get cooked in your Instapot on pressure for about 50 minutes, depending on the size of your roast. Make sure you add that trivet in there with a cup of water, or else it will give you the burn signal or whatever like that. So if you like videos like this,